So it occurs to me that we should probably introduce ourselves in the opening episode. I am AP Gaming Real. I am the referee for this particular table. We are playing Twilight 2000 4th edition. We are doing that with the firearms expansion, small arms, which is unofficial. And we are now, my cast don't know it, we are now officially supported by Free League Publishing insofar as they have offered me their entire digital catalog for some reason. So we do not have the rule set loaded for Urban Operations, which is the official expansion, first expansion for Twilight 2000. But if we need it, like if we go to the capital city of Nomia, we will have it available. So thank you for Free League Publishing for. I told them they shouldn't do this. I begged them not to give me these codes, and they gave them to me anyway. So that's where we're at. You have heard these voices already. You may have even heard us refer to each other by our names and the character names, but let's formally introduce who each of us is and which characters we're playing. GrimDarkJames, let's start with you.
I mean, before I start, so three quick things first off. One is that I like the fact that a group of Australians got together and played for 2 hours, and you got 50 minutes usable audio out of it. That's definitely very Australian of us. Secondly, your cast did know because you told me about the fact that you'd been in contact with Free League and they'd sent you some support.
But they've sent me the full support, the full,
Yep.
their entire catalog.
Okay, so like I said, the third thing is that the Urban Operations is actually the third thing for Twilight 2000 because they released the Black Madonna as well. So did they send you Black Madonna?
I don't know.
Okay, there you go.
They sent me a bunch of codes on Drive-Thru RPG that have all been inputted.
If you're out there wanting to support Free League Publishing, definitely you've got Twilight 2000, the Black Madonna, which is a scenario pack, and then Urban Operations. So, but yes, I am GrimDarkJames, and I spend a lot of time on AP shows, hanging out and making his life generally difficult, and I'm here to do the same once again, and I brought my other Australian friends along too.
So you wanted to make sure the audience understood that by proving me wrong with a 3-part rebuttal to everything I had just said.
That's
that
right.
was mostly correct. Okay.
All good political speeches are broken into 3 parts.
Are you claiming your introduction is political speech? Is there?
I'm just saying it was made
is
to
this some sort of
influence.
coup?
You trying to become the referee? I think it's just that James wants the audience to vote him as the most popular player. Okay.
Rad's been a lot less prolific on your channel recently, so I remember the chance this time.
I see. You're afraid you're not the most popular player in Blades of Honor, so you are aiming to become the most popular player on this show. I understand.
Shouldn't be too hard.
I was gonna say you almost certainly have to be the most popular player on the Blood Bowl League. So I don't know what you're worried about.
I think on this show it's going to be Chris though, because everyone's always into that new stuff. The old stuff is always out.
Wow, that hurts me.
Yeah.
Rad did tell me the other year, not recently. He did say that my oldest material was my best and my new shows aren't as good. It was so deeply hurtful.
And here we are again. We've spent 10 minutes and we've got 2 minutes of usable audio.
Wow, fantastic. I'm an expert at this stuff. Absolute expert editor as well. Chris, you've been named dropped by James. So who are you and which character are you playing?
The fresh meat on the field. So my name's Chris, friends with James and Mike, and came across AP thanks to the work, actually, Rogue Trader on AP's channel. So I'm playing the character Luke Williams. He is a relatively young, late 20s country Australian boy who joined the military to get out of the country, to be able to go somewhere and see something. Yeah, and we'll see how he develops from there. He's done some time in the infantry, specialized into medics, and then continued on due to his being young, quite fit, and holding some great specialties, was brought into special operations. And then some stuff happened, and now he's here. And I'm sure that'll come up at some point.
Very well. Mike, LordHunger.
Hello, my name's Mike. I also play in the Blood Bowl League as LordHunger, which is how I was originally introduced to AP and the other stuff. I've been friends with James for a long time, and Chris for not quite as long, but still for a while. I'm playing former Major William Fulston, and Special Operations Military Intelligence Major, former, now dishonorably discharged, now taking part in a military operation for behalf of the Australian Defence Forces. So, yep, we'll see how he goes. Hopefully, everything's going to be good.
Since you asked AP, those two, who their character were, and you didn't ask me, I will say that I'm also playing Cassandra Liew, an agent formerly of Redacted, who is here to support in I guess, more social capacity than a combat capacity needs to.
I'm pretty sure he did ask you.
I'm also fairly sure that I asked because I prefaced this whole section. You know, if it's me in the future, can you edit in the part earlier where formally I said, let's introduce everyone and their characters and which characters we're playing? I didn't even ask Mike to do anything. I just said his name and he introduced himself and his character. You're trying to take shots at me, all right? You hit 99% of the time, but I got to tell you, I feel like this one was a miss.
I don't know. James is starting to lose my vote here. Starting to lose my vote.
The audience will never know because even if you didn't ask me, I'm sure you'll go back and edit in the fact that you did when you edit it. So
you think that I would be so petty as to do that? Wow. Audience,
I didn't say no.
You know, I'm not going to edit any of this now, audience. It's going to be pure, uncut, and we're going to find out whether or not that actually happened. What a disaster here. I've already lost control of this show. James is just wildly swinging at me. Speaking of wildly swinging, let's cut back to the action. The camera wildly swings around in a helicopter cut of two men and a woman descending upon a small tropical beach house, which has a rapidly cooling body of a dead woman outside of it, two French racing bikes. The three of you stack up along the exterior, just a single emergency house light on the outside, providing some light. What do you want to do?
We'll take a minute to listen at the door and be stacked up. Is there anything we can hear? Is there a window or something like that we can peek through?
There is plenty of windows here. It's one of those very open tropical houses. You can see and secure about 80% of the interior from the outside, just through corner peeking and slowly sectioning off rooms.
All right. I'll, seeing as the boss is standing at the entry position, I'll give eyes on and the nod, and I'll pop the door for him, and he'll swing in first.
Yep.
I would like a recon roll.
I'll be going in with pistol for this one. Recon.
We've already fired unsuppressed, haven't we? Like, I think you just fired first unsuppressed, and Mike fired unsuppressed, yeah. So
yeah.
No, mine's suppressed.
Oh, your rifle?
Rifle's suppressed, yeah.
There's a single crack that has gone across the open night.
Plus the rounds that the guy with the pistol rattled off.
Oh yeah, because he fired a couple.
Hold on, please stop pretending like suppressed rounds on an open beach are not going to travel for miles in any direction.
Yeah, but you may not think that they sound like gunshots.
Okay.
Hey. We just had a helicopter shot. This is a movie, obviously, so they're very quiet.
All right, one success. I would say it's a movie in the same way that Hideo Kojima assumed that Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain was a movie. Yeah. One success. You quickly clear the premises. There is nothing of note to your mission in here. You do see all of the usual drinking accoutrement, a small mini fridge, large screen television, although this is 1999, so the large screen's probably like 32 inches. And it's also heavily wall mounted. You know, it's huge and enormous and probably weighs hundreds of pounds and is stapled into the wall. It looks exactly like the kind of romantic getaway drinking French coastal tropical side beach house that it is. There are no secrets here beyond what is in these romance novels that have been scattered around the room and not cleaned up by a service yet.
I mean, is this TV in that sweet 4:3 ratio?
Do they have 4:3 in 1999?
Well, that was what most TVs were until they became
Yeah.
16:9. Yeah.
The body?
There are two bodies. One is
Yep.
immediately outside this facility.
All right, we'll do a quick run.
Troll the bodies.
Rifle. Quick rifle of the pockets.
Okay, I believe you shot this woman with a single shot and killed her instantly with
Through the leg.
with the leg
she's
shot. So her like cargo shorts are completely covered in blood. You're rifling through, you discover that she has a completely unfired Type 92 that is called the MP42. It's a fresh Chinese pistol that is a knockoff of the Tokarev. It was just developed this year. It is a little unusual to see such a fresh piece of literal military hardware in the hands of a random Austronesian civilian. Her armband, it has the capital letters FLNCS on it. And there is like small, now that you're close enough, you can see there are smaller stitched beneath it. Like that's an acronym. And the full list is the Front de Libération Nationale Canard et Socialiste.
Okay.
In her back pocket, now covered in blood, is a 15-round pistol magazine for her MP42.
What rounds do these things use?
9mm, 9x19.
Standard 9. Okay.
Yeah. So compatible with, although I don't know how well they've been made, but certainly they're compatible with what with our pistols.
Oh, worst comes to
Emergency.
worst, we can use them.
Yeah, but that's I think we just pull the mags. I was going to look for any on the two bodies, any local currency, any keys, any IDs.
Okay. You begin going more intensely through her pockets. You discover no IDs, no keys. You do see a folded up piece of paper that when you unfold it, looks like someone has hand drawn a river and maybe a boat crossing of some kind, and seems to be indicating on the southern shore of the river sandbags, times. There are additional notations in French that include the word "woemier."
You want to tell me in English because I speak French. My
That's
character does.
it's
Yeah.
the same word.
It's a
both
noun.
languages.
It's a noun though. Yeah.
Yes, it is a proper noun.
Right. I think we should move these bodies onto the pile, onto the burning pile, like to hide them among the rest that they've already burned.
Have a quick look at the burning pile. Any identifiable features, or have they been well burned?
They have been well burned. This house looks like it has been burning for at least an hour. It's kind of in the smoldering position right now. It was a large structure, probably 2 bedrooms or more, and there are at least 3 visible charred body/skeleton combinations in the fire.
Okay. Have a quick Luke. I want you to quickly check, see if you can find their luggage, an ID for them, if possible. Look for currency and any documentation. I think that's it.
Ack, pick up the body of the female here at the building, and I'll take it across and add it to the places in the fire, respectfully.
Just getting close to it is quite difficult because there's still the embering heat on it. As you get closer, you can see that the at least three bodies that you can identify, they have, I mean, everything around them is burned with the exception of anything that is flame resistant or particularly high temperature metal sort of deal. It looks as if one of them had their luggage clutched in their hand while they were burning. Like they had like a extendable luggage that you'd bring behind you at the airport sort of deal. That piece is the only thing left of their luggage container. The rest of it is a smoldering pile of ash and embers.
So it's just the pull drag handle.
Yes.
Right.
And just to recall, James, you did hear them say in French earlier that these people were dragging their feet on gathering their luggage up to leave, and that's why these people shot them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll point it out. I'll point it out to William. So Fulston.
But this doesn't feel like a straight up execution. It feels more like an attempted forced evacuation that just went south because these people are not experienced soldiers. They lost control of the situation and started shooting.
I panicked. I was more hoping that there'd be luggage left in the buildings. Never mind.
That's all right. I'll do a
So let's actually.
I'll do a sweep.
So you said that the woman's gun was unfired, and the guy's gun, was it only the rounds he fired at us?
No. He was also missing several bullets previously.
Okay.
So I think these are 15 round guns. He was missing 9 bullets.
Okay.
I'll get rid of that body. I'll get rid of his body while you check the buildings.
So you have 3 fresh 15-round magazines. Because this game is so specific about weight and carrying things and scavenging, I do need to know who is taking what and adding what to your sheet.
Oh, if we got 3 mags, we just split them. 1, 2, 3.
Is anyone
that
taking
works.
any of the pistols? So one of those mag is the fresh magazine that is in the woman's MP42. So if you take that one out, the gun is unloaded.
I think the gun's is a half weight, is it? Its weight is 0.5.
Yes, I think
for the gun?
guns are half weight and magazines are quarter weight, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. Maybe we'll just grab a mag. I think once let's say I clear the building and I swing past to check out the body whilst Fulston is picking him up.
Yeah.
Look at the pistol, and I'll see the pistol with the jam in the pistol, and I'll be like, and I'll give a long whistle, and I go, I don't think we want these pistols. Doesn't appear that it worked very well.
Well, what was the stoppage? Did it fail to fire or fail to feed? Like, is it the pistol or the ammunition that did it?
I think we agreed last time
ejection.
it's a stovepipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Failed to eject, which could be bad ammo or manufacture. Underpowdered ammo.
All right, so what about the rib? Do we want to take the gear and scuttle it? Do we want to try and hide it somewhere?
So I do need to say, last time I indicated to you that you were about 4 kilometers away from your landing objective. That is not correct. You are 400 meters away, and as such, you can see that there are rocks south of you, beyond your objective, but not far. Someplace that if you wanted to hide it, you could put it in those rocks.
Yeah, I think we just sail it down to the landing, the original landing point, hide it there. We can also hide anything you don't want to carry with us, your stash, just in case we have to come back here.
Yep.
Question is, what do we want to do with these push bikes? Do we want to take them with us? There's only 2, and there's 3 of us, is the issue.
I mean, I was going to say we should definitely remove them from here because whoever sent these people comes looking for them. If the bodies are burned enough and the bikes aren't here, perhaps they'll assume they moved on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'm going to assume.
In that case, we take the pistols with us and we'll toss them in the sea when we're out.
Yeah.
Throw the bikes on the rib, and we'll walk/pull it down the beach without leaving a sign. So in the waterline.
Pull it down. This man is trying to avoid making a roll to navigate the boat. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
We'll get I assume this is a kind of a holiday house that definitely has some 155 Bacardi rum or something flammable. So I'll throw that on the bodies. Yeah. We'll throw a couple extra of those on the fresh bodies just so we've got some extra accelerant on there.
You make your way about 400 meters south to where your original landing destination was, One Puez, or however you pronounce this, Un Puez, according to my notes. As you are bringing the rib in slowly, you note that there are rocks on the southeast section of the map where you can easily hide, and you can see that this area right here, I know it's not well designated. This is a pier that extends out into the water. And then in the southern area, we have the rocks There are two small boats here. One of them appears to be a motorized fishing boat, just a very standard commercial trawler that has seen decades of use. The other is a sailing, I don't want to say yacht, but if I said a very small sailing boat, like a 22-foot long, I hope you would understand what I mean in that case.
Yep.
Yep.
You believe that this location right here, which is a large one-bedroom house of classic French 80s architecture with a attached long garage, is your target location, which is the house of one Sergeant Cyrus Bowie. The outside of the house has a spotlight on a giant Australian flag. You see the beautiful Southern Cross as you crest past the house on the water, and you're filled with patriotism, I guess.
Deep need for a Vegemite on toast.
In
And
the driveway, you see a red Holden Vienne Commodore sedan, probably the 88 LN version. There is also a flag that says "Don't Step on Me" that features a snake all in yellow. And there are several like half put together motorbikes that are disassembled in the driveway. As for the rest of the location, it's so far inland that from the rib, it's not easy to determine. You do think that there are people moving in the darkness, but without some sort of night vision or a recon check, I don't feel like I need to tell you more.
Hmm.
There
And we
is
do have-
something moving in the darkness.
We do have night vision, and we do have the recon skill.
But do you want to use them is the real question. Can you roll well while using them is the better question.
can you not break them because they have reliability 1?
Just don't push. Okay. So
I cannot wait for final episode. William is standing over somebody and he just goes, "What do you mean you can't see it? Push your eyes." Finally, break the binoculars in the last roll of the game.
I'm waiting to hold off using the night vision right up to the last moment, then immediately break them.
Incredible.
All right, I'll pull my binos out. We'll do a scan of those figures, see what we can see.
Now, do you have your night vision on while you're doing this?
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to pull that out of its
There's a
box.
-2 penalty to this that will be canceled out by the +1 for using binoculars on a recon roll.
So still a -1 then?
Mm-hmm.
Binos are, I think it's showing here as the modifier as a +2 for binos.
Okay, then they will cancel out. You're
They
just rolling
cancel out,
flat.
yeah. No, that's all right. Just using all of the mechanics.
Yeah,
Of this
certainly not the
lovely-
first
of this-
time I've been wrong this episode.
That's right. Really enjoying this great user experience.
You want to push?
So you will take a stress if you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it off. I'll be just be like, I can't see shit. And
I see
I'll-
what's happening. You failed your
Yeah.
recon roll, and now you're gonna have somebody else make the roll. I
Yeah.
understand now.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's
Okay.
I'm communicating that I have failed to see anything, which is what you would do. You'd be like, I can't see
and
shit.
because and the way you do this in the field is you don't see anything, you just pass the binoculars to the next person so they can also look at what you didn't see.
And we both sit there and go, Yep.
It's exactly how
And-
Marine sniper teams are trained. Yes.
I'm piloting the boat so James can have a look next.
All right, I'll have a look then. Are we actually piloting the boat, or are we just pulling the boat down the
Just pulling.
beach?
Are we just
Within-
pulling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, within the waterline.
Okay.
We didn't want to leave tracks.
I got a success.
You see two men. They are wearing t-shirts with older bulletproof vests over top of them that look worn but unused. Like no one has shot these people while wearing the vest before, but they do look like they're probably surplus 10+ years old. One of them is carrying a Colt 2000. The other is carrying a Ruger P90. Now note that's the pistol Ruger P90, not a P90 submachine gun point defense weapon. They are doing a sweep up and down this street right here, and then doing a patrol in a sort of like down this way and then this way and then back up this way. So they appear to be patrolling the local neighborhood. You don't see any armbands. It is nighttime. It's hard to see much more than that without night vision and with only a 1 success.
All right, let's I assume you pass that on.
Yeah, and I guess we'll try and coordinate when we move to, being when they're in the part of their patrol that takes them away from us.
Or at least facing the other way.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with this rib?
Well, you talked about there being some rocks down to the south.
Rocks to the south.
So I think we should get down to there, see how far we can drag it up, and then stash the boat and so the rib and the extra equipment separately, further up from each other, and then get to the house.
Once we make contact with once we make contact with our contact, we should be able to probably move stuff to his premises if he's willing to.
What's the
As long
time?
as he's alive and willing.
It's after 7:30, but before 8 p.m. local time.
All right, so we've got plenty of time. We don't have to rush. We won't. We will take the time to be methodical and maximize our cover and concealment.
I will need a recon roll from whoever wants to lead this effort. Up to 2 other people can give aid for a +2.
I'll give it a go. With a +2?
Yes. That will represent all 3 of you creating 2 supply caches, one of a hidden rib and the other with the equipment that you are not carrying. I'm also going to assume that while you were here, you threw the Type 92 into the ocean.
Into the drink.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 successes. These are pretty well hidden. It's nighttime, but even if it wasn't, with the dark coloring on the rib against this kind of local black rock and your knowledge of just how to keep things hidden as a special forces officer, your 2 supply caches would require someone to either stumble over incredibly lucky or a dedicated team specifically looking for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting
pretty
how
happy with that,
how you framed that in the positive, that it would be very lucky for somebody to find it. I find it would be very unlucky for us if somebody was to find it.
Right, but if I was walking in the wilds and I was like, damn, I just found $10,000 worth of military equipment, I'd be like, damn, that was pretty lucky.
I think of the SAS getting found out on their long range recon during in Iraq, and then they had to do that fighting withdrawal across like 100 kilometers or whatever it was.
Yikes!
Like that was super unlucky for everyone involved.
Yes. Yeah, that's the sort of situation where you're probably better off just better off not finding them.
Bravo 20. Sorry, apologies. Bravo 20 is the story.
I mentioned last time that I had an old boss that was a colonel who was in logistics, and he told me the story once for the Australian Army that they had a bunch of surplus gear to get rid of, including vehicles, weapons, etc. And his unit was tasked with taking them out to the middle of nowhere, digging a giant hole, putting all the stuff in there, and then filling it in and not marking it on any map where they put it. That was how they dealt with defunct surplus in the early 80s in the Australian Army.
I can see that you were trained well by your American comrades.
Just pushing everything off the side of the boat.
You're hurting me. Please stop. Do you want to approach your target contact's house? If you do, in what way do you want to do that?
I assume there was a Marriott procedure.
Well, we had a cap.
So there'll be some specific way that we're supposed to approach.
You have a capsule which you are to hand to him.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's expecting us. It's the problem.
That is correct. He cannot know that you're coming because radio communications and satellite are all down.
Yeah.
I'd rather be visited by you than by me if I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, same.
You are ostensibly disguised as tourists.
Well,
we're not right now.
Yeah, we came off the ribbon like fatigue.
I said ostensibly. So, ostensibly.
Yeah. So I mean, I can like strip out of the fatigues here and then head up, looking a bit more casual.
We'll sneak up on there. Then you approach the final distance. We'll wait just a little bit out, just in case.
Yep. We'll keep a hold of your kit.
Yeah.
So something like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we would have gone down and then back up again. Yep.
All right. Cassandra, you're knocking on the front door.
Yeah. The only weapon I've taken is my concealed pistol and my back holster.
All right. A man opens the door. He is carrying a Benelli M1 Super Shotgun. He is wearing cargo shorts. He has a gold cross chain around his neck. He has a mullet. Do you guys know what a mullet is?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Right. He has a mullet. He smells like cheap cigarettes, especially mentholated cigarettes, and Dan Murphy's brand alcohol. There is a perfume of boganism coming from him as he stands there in flip-flops and shorts, and he goes, "Mate."
You did so well right up until you said flip-flops.
Oh, sorry. What do I call them? Thongs?
Thongs.
Okay.
Thongs.
Yes, but I have to translate it for the rest of the world as well.
You said Bogan and Dan Murphy's. And...
Thanks. I did
think
some
that,
research for this character.
I instantly saw like Cougar bourbon or Bundy rum. Like I could see it.
Wait, do you guys not like Bundaberg?
It's fighting juice.
Yeah.
Lacks,
It's perfect if you want to break someone's jaw.
yeah.
I like using Bundaberg for dark and stormies. These haters.
Almost certainly Bundaberg. There is a Bundaberg sticker on his VN Commodore. Which, by the
Yes.
way, if it was a Ute, you would have nailed. I know that exact yard. I've seen that exact yard.
That's
It
because
just
you grew up
needed
in
to be a
Newcastle.
Yeah, Ute. Ute.
Okay.
So what was his name?
His name is Sergeant Cyrus Bowie.
Okay. All right. So
He appears to be mistaking you for a pizza delivery person. He's just like, "I didn't order anything, mate. You're at the wrong address."
Sergeant Bowie. Obviously, my accent's Australian as
Your
well.
real Australian accent, yes, of course. Authentic.
Although
Unlike
I wouldn't
my
say-
fake Australian
Yeah,
accent.
but having grown up in Canberra, I wouldn't exactly be salt of the earth Australian. It would be
but
more.
he's from Mildura, so
Mm.
I believe those are pretty close, right? No, maybe not. They might be hundreds of kilometers apart.
Yes.
In Australian terms, where the whole of Europe fits inside us, sure.
Yeah, that's it. There's not much cultural mixing between Mildura and Canberra. I
All
can tell
right.
you now.
He gives you a second look over, and he puts the shotgun on his shoulder with the barrel pointing away from you rather than in patrol position. He goes, "That's right, I'm Sergeant Cyrus Bowie. How are you, mate?"
My name is Cassandra Liew. I'm a private contractor, and it seems that your country might have need of you still. And I proffer the capsule in my hand.
All right. He takes the capsule, turns around so that the shotgun barrel is now pointed directly at your face, sighs heavily while he opens the capsule and reads it with one hand, and then plods into his house and goes, "Well, plop a squat somewhere. Guess I have some reading to do."
I've got a couple more people outside.
Yeah, get him in before my boys see him and shoot him by accident.
I'll signal the other two to come up.
We'll push up. I'll dump your kit at the door, and we'll do a swing through, and I'll hold and pause on. I'm sure old mate there with his shotgun, and I'll give him. We'll do eyes. Do that.
No, he's
significant-
facing away from you this whole time. He's just using his gun like a dumbass.
Nonchalant.
Yes.
Being as nonchalant as possible. Excellent. Not a problem. All right. I'll pin for a second and then decide that that's not a threat, and I'll swing through the rest of the house.
All right, when you start swinging through his house, he's like, "Mate, take a seat. What are you doing?" Gotta keep
Like-
this guy out of the garage. Mate, what do you drink? You like Bundaberg? Maybe you like Dark and Stormies. You want me to mix you some? And then he sees William Fulston. He goes, "Major!" And he salutes, but he's doing it while holding the shotgun at the same time. So he hits himself in the face with the trigger guard of a Benelli M1 He goes, Major Fulston, it's good to see you again, sir.
Uh, just William now. Just William now. Good to see you, Sergeant.
Once a major, always a major, sir.
Too right.
Unfortunately, not everyone feels that way.
Well, I think you might know I don't feel very close to the government. He kind of gestures to big banner above his TV that says, "Which side are you on?"
Oh, yes. Yes. No, I understand how you feel, you know.
They're just out here trying to take our guns, mate, and our freedoms. I had to go to the only place I could still find freedoms left, France. These people know how to throw a protest.
Absolutely. Well,
I hate to break up this love affair, but what are these two? What's the story on these two? And I'm posted up on the window looking out where I could see the two guys patrolling.
Oh, those are my neighbors, Greco and Roman. They decided to volunteer for local militia. We formed a sort of neighborhood watch. There are some bad characters up north that we've been keeping an eye on. Something about the ferry. Now, I mean, looking at these orders, we're in a bit of a spot here. I can offer you some armory services. I got some ammunition, and I've definitely got the tools to fix any guns that you have in my garage, but there's no power. My diesel generator's got about 6 hours left, and I have half a tank in my Commodore.
I mean, we obviously have no knowledge about what's been happening here since comms went down. So maybe just can you give us a run through on what the situation in the country is as you know it?
Okay, well, obviously...
Whoa. I'll take that fucking drink now.
Okay, he brings you over a dark and stormy.
And I'll start shrugging out of my kit.
Can of ginger beer with a shot of Thunderbird rum in it. And he does the drop shot so that the shot is actually in the drink.
All right. Solid drink. Cheers. And then like good skull. It's like earned that tonight.
yeah.
And then I'll start getting out of the kit.
You seen a bit?
More than we wanted.
Had a little run in just up the coast with some fellas in these armbands. Toss him one of the armbands that we took.
He takes a look and he says, yeah, these are the problems, at least one of them. We call them flankers. Front Liberty National Canadian Socialists. They're being backed by some big Chinese money up north. I feel like I've completely lost any sort of Australian accent. I've just been wandering around. I'm somewhere in the world. It's just not Australia.
That's okay.
Their kit looked pretty new.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's cheap Chinese shit, so let's not worry about that. Start getting changed into some civilian clothes. I think we're somewhere safe where we can do that now.
It might be cheap Chinese shit, but they've got plenty of it. It's probably hundreds of locals that have joined this flankers movement. I think they've got several APCs, and they may have captured a SAM site in the north. As far as I can tell, the government is still working in the capital city of Nomia, but most people are sheltering in place from whatever orders we can get from the police. Not that I listen to the French police. You know, we have to pull gas in from afar. We don't produce any petrol from afar. We don't produce petrol locally. It's pretty much run out all across the island. And we don't have any of those renewable resources. Everyone keeps talking about wind or tidal power, but that's probably decades away. So power's out across most of the island. They're just keeping the capital on. I heard that there was a big dust-up between the Navy. One of the ships went rogue and started firing on the flagship.
Okay.
You got any maps?
He does have several maps. He does indeed.
The boss will want to do his talc.
Okay, let's take a look at the maps. So roughly where's this SAM site? Do you have any idea?
So he indicates that right here is where you're currently located. And then he has several markings on the table in addition to that. There's a marking here that says ferry. There's a marking here that says airport and a marking here that says airport. He says, you know, I think it's located somewhere in the northern mountain area, right around here, but I've never been there myself. It's not like I wander into French military secure locations.
No, no, that's okay. That's fine. So these two airports, are they both civilian airports?
Yes,
What's the difference?
they're the thing is, it's not just about the airports that are located there. I've been trying to figure out what we could do in order to stop these flankers from rolling south. Those two airports are also located at major intersections. If you close off the roads at those two locations, there's no other way south and there's no other way east or west. These are vital
Okay.
avenues of control. But we probably have a bigger problem. You said that you had a dust up north, and if they were wearing these, they're part of the flankers. I think they're
Yeah.
trying to take the ferry route that's about 8 kilometers northwest of us.
They did mention a ferry. They mentioned trying to evacuate people to a ferry.
If I thought
Yeah.
I could get up there with Greco and Roman, I would secure the location, mates. But the problem is we gotta protect the neighborhood here. I mean, Roman has a wife, Greco has a girlfriend. They're not built. These guys haven't used guns before in their life, and I don't want them shooting me in the back. Look,
No?
it's my job to advise you. But if I had to say, I think that getting up there, getting to the ferry, getting to the far side, securing it and disabling it in some way would prevent any vehicles like these supposed APCs or just cars filled with guys from coming south. They'd have to swim across.
Yeah. What's up north? Is it mostly farmland or is it what's up there?
There's some farmland.
On the other past the ferry. Are there going to be hundreds of guys with hundreds of utes which can be turned into tacticals right now? Or
No.
no, okay.
It
Well, we
has some
still need to
farmland,
take care of
but
it, though.
it's mostly mineral country. A lot of empty space with the exception of the very northwest part of the island. It's rough country if you go any farther than along the road. It's going to be a tough walk.
The mines up there, do they have any local security,
They do.
private military?
I wouldn't say military. I would say corporate security. There's
Heavies?
a world of difference here.
Any heavies?
Heavies here?
Yeah, like the security guard, the security forces are only heavy security forces, long arms.
No.
Okay. It's all right.
So, how long after comms went down did the flanker movement start rising up?
They started before. They're the ones who seize control of the radio towers. He starts walking you through the timeline. So Australia got wind of it around 3 a.m. on November 2nd, and it's now November 5th. The uprising started on November 1st on the morning, and it just didn't get out. They started moving before the satellite network was fully down.
Okay.
Do you know where this Navy event happened?
The Navy's based out of the capital city.
Okay.
These flankers, they're mainly what, armed civilians or ex-military or?
Look, I can only tell you what I've gotten word from people from very occasionally, like a 1 in 6 chance of picking something up on the radio and a 16.67 repeating, of course, chance of picking something up on the radio. I think they're mostly armed civilians, but I haven't encountered any of them in force yet. We're just working on word of mouth.
Because, I mean, insurgents capturing a SAM site is not unheard of, but the ability to actually operate a SAM site is a whole different thing if they're not trained on the equipment.
Yeah, that's my concern. If we capture an airport and we use that to get stuff in from Australia and they've got a SAM site that they know how to use, it could be a big problem.
Only one guy needs to know how to push the button.
Yeah. With these airports, have you noticed increased flights coming in? Or is it the same as normal or less?
Since the satellite network's been knocked out, there have been no incoming international flights, and we don't really do anything more than short form domestic flights. I think I saw a civilian air transport helicopter going from Hienhei to Kone the other day. But if you fly low enough through the mountains, you can definitely stay way below a radar level.
I'm just wondering if they're moving extra gear in from Chinese.
No, I have to tell you, a lot of what you're seeing right now is boats. A lot of boats. Now, everyone's running out of diesel all over the place, but if you got something with sails, still works.
Are there any docks up north where extra gear could be landed for these people?
There are near Comac, there's a airport with a combination dock and also Malibu.
Which one's Comac?
So Comac is not on this particular map. I haven't marked it yet, but it is located around here.
It's about there. Okay.
Does somebody know how to sail that yacht out there?
Well, I know how to sail it.
Yeah, because I don't know, mate, I grew up in Dusty Creek, mate. I don't know if you know where that is, but there wasn't a lot of sailing and yachts going on.
As an Australian citizen, I also know where that is.
No.
No,
Part of being
Doubt it.
Australian is not knowing anywhere.
mate, it's 3 hours northwest of Dubbo, Gilgandra. So yeah, and as you can imagine, not a lot of sailing on that creek. Any of you guys know how to sail? And I'll gesture to my other compatriots.
No, a bit of boats, but not much.
Yeah, certainly not a yacht like that. I mean
Yeah,
it's probably is it a crew like it's probably a yacht that's crewed, is it? Like it's you can't one man this yacht, is it, or is it?
It is a 22-foot long. I believe you could one person sail it. It would be very difficult, especially if you weren't trained.
Yeah.
Now, he has indicated that he can sail it if you would like him to.
But he doesn't want to leave here, though, does he?
That is correct.
Yeah.
We need to do something for him so that we can convince him he's right to leave.
I mean, he needs to know that this location is safe.
Yep.
For his people.
Do you want to? All right, I'll give him a quick rundown of the kit we've brought and where we've stashed it at the moment.
You want to just go out there and bring it into my garage?
Yep. Is there any better place to put the rib?
Sounds like you picked a pretty good place.
All right, I'll pull the fuel off it, but
We'll just it's an outboard motor, so pull the outboard off.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll. Do you want to let your boys? Do you want to make Echo Roman know that we're not
Greco.
to light me up?
Greco Road. Yeah, I'll go out there and I'll talk to him. All right. Are you good to continue operating? You just drank a whole dark and stormy. You can't see it. Chris head tilted at me and then nodded twice, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
No, wait. Are you asking that or is he asking that? Because I have two different
I think
responses.
we're both asking that.
All right. I look at him, I go, cunt, please. And then I leave. Cunt,
He turns-
please.
Cyrus turns to look at the two of you and goes, "What a cunt."
Yeah,
Then he
well,
walks out on his back porch and you can hear him whistling and begin having a conversation with Greco and Roman in French.
okay. Turn to Cassandra while he's away. And just sort of nod towards him. What do you think?
I think any point in the storm, he seems to know the area. I think that he's right about the risks about what's going on up north, that we can't really move south of the capital, leaving this at our back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we'll deal with the ferry. I'm just worried about this SAM site because anything we're going to do, if it's we're talking about hundreds of militia with new Chinese firearms, APCs, we're going to need a little bit more support than what we've got with us. The gear we've brought, doing a pinch. But I think securing the airports is going to be necessary at some stage. And the SAM site just makes that a little too risky at the moment. So we'll definitely have to secure the ferry, and then we'll see what we can find. Hopefully they've got some maps. You had a little doodled map, didn't you, from the woman?
Yeah. I think as
maybe
well
they've
that go ahead.
Yeah, maybe they've got some more information at their base there. They've got something marked down. Maybe they've got their own maps there. You can get into their comms equipment, see what we can find.
We need to try and work out whether this is just locals that have had a supply drop of equipment or whether there's actually PRC operatives operating on. I mean, I'm going to assume there probably are.
There'd have to be someone who's trained them how to use the gear, even if not very well.
Yeah.
You know, civilians can't just pick up any old firearm and suddenly be able to use it.
I mean, it's a different story if it's a couple of operatives helping out the locals, or whether there's like a Chinese warship parked off the north coast. It's providing logistic support and command and control.
Yeah, it could also be just a single team of guys, even if it's just a single team of their own special forces here just to assist. That's still a serious threat. We're going to have to see what we can find. I think if we go for the ferry, we may have to try and take a captive and just find out what they know.
So, we have this wonderful map, but I am using it in tandem with a very real map of the very real New Caledonia. So, I am going to give you the coordinates of where you're currently located in GPS. If you're ready to write that down, I'm going to put it in the channel, but I'm also going to say it out loud so that the audience can get it. You are at 20.65 south, 164.91 east. And the location of the ferry you're looking for is 20.62 south, 164.85 east. So you can get a good look at the local area.
Sorry, can you repeat that very last digit?
Yep, it's all in the Discord.
So, AP, you triggered me.
Yes.
The way you said those numbers.
Well, that's because I didn't use minutes or seconds, huh?
Well, just more the fact you used 20. Should be 20.65. Yeah.
Chris, I know I'm about to shock you here.
I know. It just triggered me.
But
it's
I
like
don't
when I see
military orienteering training. I only have Boy Scout merit badges for expert survivalist and navigation. So I'm very sorry.
And yet, Arthur, you know that all maps should be orientated north to the top. You know
Should
this.
I be saying Niner as well?
Yeah, well, we want to do true Raytel.
Wait, what are you saying about maps oriented towards the top?
Well, north oriented to the top of the map.
Yes.
Yeah,
what map have I shown you that's not?
No. So this is a Chris pet P, right? So in my D&D campaign, I managed to find a map that really fucked with Chris. It was a map of a city orientated east to the top with a cutout section that orientated south to the top. Like it zoomed in on a part of the city, and the cutout was a different orientation to the main orientation. And
Who would do that?
Chris was running around triggered.
I agree with Chris on this one.
Somebody was paid money. A cartographer was paid money to create this magical map that is just it's diabolical. Only in Strahd. Only in Strahd. Strahd was somehow involved in this diabolical map.
Yeah, it's the town of, you want to look up the town of Daggerford in Forgotten Realms. That's the official map is oriented like that.
Horrendous. Heresy.
Anyway, so by my working, we're about 7 Ks from the ferry.
That's like 8 kilometers, yeah. It's a 2-hour walk.
So my question is, like, coming into this mission, so we've obviously arrived here at nighttime. What was our sleep cycle up until this point?
You were asleep before you launched.
Okay.
So, you went into this fresh in the morning when you were ready. They weren't like, we're going to boot you out of this place as soon as we arrive. They waited until your team was prepped, all your equipment was loaded, and you were physically ready and able to go.
Remember, I remember hearing something about guys coming or more people coming. So we might be on a ticking clock here.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think we go deal with this ferry immediately.
At least we got fair indication though they're coming from the north. We didn't know which direction they're coming from until now.
So you have several travel options. You can walk, you can use the rib, you can use the bicycles, or you can load yourselves into a red Holden Vienne Commodore sedan LN 1988 edition, which has less than full tank of gas, and once that gas is gone, it's very unlikely you will get more.
Now, Arthur, this is very important. Is it the S-Pack V6 or the SS V8?
I don't know the difference. Whichever one would be more fitting for this character based on what you know about them.
Definitely the V8, but running on 7.5 cylinders. And at least
you can have half a cylinder?
Oh, it's rough idle.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. One of those four strokes isn't working very well.
Yeah, and the one of the rear tires is almost certainly almost to the wire because he couldn't afford to put in a proper LSD diff, so he's just doing singles, constantly trying to do
No,
it.
no, 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 no. This guy takes care of his shitty vehicle.
Okay, all right. So they're both to the wire.
All right. Uh, would your two associates be able to source us one more bicycle in town?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
we
that
go
does-
by bike.
Yeah, that does keep us sort of to the road, though. I mean, those racing bikes didn't look like they were off-road bikes, so
That's okay.
That's okay because they're going off-road here is extremely difficult. You go more than 100 meters in and you're going to be on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, we'll be moving on game trails, and they aren't really made for mountain bikes. So
He looks out to his yard where he has 3 half intact motorcycles that he's working on in his driveway. And you can see that he's desperately contemplating talking up whatever lodged
Canopy.
together salvaged piece of garbage he's going to make. Then he looks at the 3 of you, looks at the major, realizes it's not the time. It's 8 o'clock on invasion day. He's drunk. Maybe it's not the time to start talking about how cool your bike is going to be one day. And so he reins it in, and you could see all of this very slowly going over his face.
are they two-stroke bikes or four-stroke bikes?
What would work better for your image of this character, James?
Well,
I don't know the difference between motorcycles.
So two-stroke
First off,
bikes.
is it
They're like dirt bikes that run on motorcycle, run on like lawn.
No, these are full motorcycles.
Okay, so they're four-stroke bikes. Okay, so it's like a proper like car engine sort of thing. This is small.
Yes, they all look like cheap Japanese racing bikes.
Oh, not beautiful. It's the Suzuki 650s. Magnificent.
I don't know
Very
why one
economical.
was the exact same bike though.
Because
I
you
feel like
need
it-
3 bikes to make one bike, James. You've
That's true,
obviously
yes.
never had a project car or bike. I need several donor vehicles.
I see you're my uncle who I'm basing this on.
Yeah. And when you're halfway through, you realize you could do something different, and then you buy another bike so that you can do it slightly different the next time you do one. But then, of course, you need more donor bikes.
Hey, I don't want to have the same bike as somebody else when I go to the pie shop to have my coffee, all right, on my Sunday ride. My bike needs to be unique when it's lined up with the 25 other bikes.
Exactly.
All right, well, I'll take a look at I'll do the classic looking at the time, the classic whelp, and are we pushing now? Because we've still got dark.
We still got dark, and I think we push now. Make sure there's absolutely no chance of any information of the 2 dead uns getting back there. We'll go.
Heavy or quiet?
Start quiet.
All right.
Always best to start quiet.
No, but are we going in heavy kit or covert?
I think if we're moving at night and we need to look at taking out a ferry, then we need to go a bit heavier. Yeah.
All right. Well, at least at night we can get away with our flak vests and throw our Hawaiian shirts over the top. No helmets.
Yeah.
If somebody gets a quick look at us, they don't instantly think that we're armed civilians. We've got a chance to see them before they see us.
I'll leave the FAMAS here. I'll take the MSG.
I'll grab old mate. Sorry, Arthur. I've forgotten
Cyrus Bowie.
Cyrus, and I'll be like, "Hey, Cyrus," and I'll pull him over the side. I'm like, "That bike got any pink ones for the boss?" We're
Sorry,
trying
mate.
to pull.
I just want to be very clear here. You are illegally invading French soil at 8 o'clock at night. You were both drunk. You're drunk, mate. You're drunk. And you're being a real cunt about it as well. Just to be very clear, you want to know if I have a spare riding bicycle that is pink so that you can insult your boss,
I mean,
who is
I'd
the
settle
only
for-
member of your team I personally know.
yeah,
Yeah, sure. I can go find a pink one.
sick. Fist bump.
Okay. So he
All
brings a bike that is not pink and does not have a basket.
Thought you were cool, bro. Thought you were cool, bro.
Cyrus gives you the rundown of what you're likely to see on the way up. There's probably only about 10 houses between you and the ferry, but he doesn't know the loyalty or disposition of anyone north of here because they've been cut off by a force of flankers who you've now killed. That said, people have not been going out at night, and the street lights are not working because there's no electricity. So if you keep quiet and you travel in the dark, you should be okay.
All right. Let's so on top of basically the kit we took on the beach, minus helmets, let's take a slab of comp B to disable this ferry. I don't want to do it with I don't want to try and do it with a pistol.
Now hold on, Cyrus says. If you blow up the ferry, no one can use it in the future. If that's what you want to do, I not only can I not stop you, I agree with it, but if you take the fuel out of it, that also disables it without permanently. That ferry is a permanent fixture of the local community. I use it when I need to go north.
How about I make the engine inoperable? Because it's not that hard to find more fuel.
Do you have any vehicle tools with you? He says, looking through your character sheet to see if you have.
It's not hard to find fuel at the moment.
Yeah, I'm like, you got a hammer?
Okay.
If I smash enough electrics, I'm pretty sure it's not going to start.
I think taking the fuel might be a better idea because although fuel's easy to find at the moment, we're not saying it will be always.
Well, I mean, we can take the fuel regardless because we can use it. But I mean,
yeah,
you can
exactly.
do both. You can take the fuel and you can also smash up the controls.
Buenos dos. I want to spoil my fun of hammering the shit out of this engine.
You can tell that this guy, this smashing of the thing doesn't settle well with him.
Listen,
but he's in no position to argue about it.
I've got no problem with you smashing it, but if we need to use it, you're fixing it.
All right, I'll just smash the distributor cap. We'll find another one somewhere.
How about we just take the distributor cap off and take it with us?
Well, you could be that way if you wanted to be. You know what? That's officer thinking right there. That's officer thinking. And I elbow the other dude. Officer thinking right there.
He elbows you back.
Yeah.
You get into a little shoving fight for a moment. It's clear that before he drank the Dark and Stormy with you, he was already settled in for a night of drinking.
So I assume that this
You
guy...
should grab us later. Let's just fucking go.
Ooh, I love it when he gets spicy. It's my favorite part. So I'm going to assume, we had a little roughy moment. I assume this guy has a bit of paunch. He's taken a bit of a beer gut, as it were.
Honestly,
but it's a solid gut. Oh, no,
he's solid down. New Jersey bro culture. Whatever the Australian version of that, he's absolutely ripped.
Bondi boy.
Yeah, he's young enough that whatever shitty diet he has is burned off completely by his metabolism and by the fact that he definitely does some that sailboat out there might be his. He definitely does stuff out on the water.
All right. Well, when we leave, we definitely do the Predator Army
handshake.
Yeah, 100%.
I know the audience can't see it, but I hope they understand how it works.
Little flex moment. I'm I'll have another one of those. I'll Dark and Stormy when I get back. All right.
What's your strength score? I mean, just look. That's so funny if you die. By the way, you're really setting yourself up to be killed.
I know.
All right, you're stronger than him when you flex on him.
Give him a wink. I'll take the Dark and Stormy when I get back.
All right,
we get out of here.
I am going to need a driving roll. You get a +3, all of you, because you are on the road.
Driving roll. What if I have 0 skills in driving?
It's still an agility with a +3.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Push, Mike?
No.
Oh, Chris with a double one.
Double ones on a D10 is not likely. Let's just be
Luke goes out and immediately rides the bike into a ditch.
Isn't this the equivalent of rolling a 1 on a D100?
It is, yeah.
I just eat pavement.
It's not that. It's that you're exhausted when you arrive. And I need you to start by taking a hit on your stuff. William,
Behoof. Yeah.
you're a little old for this riding a bike at 8 o'clock at night. By the time you get
In the
there, it's
dark.
10 and you are gassed out. You are completely donezo. So if you want to continue operating without also taking a physical hit, you will have to expend a ration to cover the extra calorie burns that you're taking.
Let's take a breather and we'll think about it while we watch.
Harbor up, layup point, OP. Take a rest.
As you are making your way north, you see many houses. Some of them have the flicker of candlelight, but none of them have any sort of electronic equipment working. Only one person sees you going north and promptly does their best to pretend like they didn't see three individuals who are clearly not local, who are semi-stealthily carrying firearms on bicycles, riding past him at 9 o'clock at night. He just turns away and starts walking with his back facing to all of you. When you make the turn left towards the ferry, you can see that there are people gathered on this side of the ferry terminal where the ferry is not at. They look to be regular civilians, no guns. It is two men and a woman and a woman, and they are just having a conversation in a street light that is on. It is on, it is working, and you can hear the echoes of a diesel generator going off nearby.
Have they got armbands?
They do not have armbands.
Okay.
These people also look like Caucasian French individuals.
Yeah, sorry, so this is a cabin near
Yes,
the ferry?
So as you're approaching the ferry, the woods get extremely heavy, even on the part of the road that is almost right up to the shoreline. It's still very heavily wooded enough to almost cut off view, despite the fact that it's probably only 2 or 3 trees deep. In those woods right before the ferry, there are a series of buildings which include the office for the ferry and, like the ferry services, business, headquarters, and the family that operates the ferry there as well, their family house. And you can see that the diesel generator outside of that house that lights up the ferry terminal is on, and that there are 3 people standing underneath it that seem to be waiting for the ferry, having a discussion.
So the ferry is not moored here, is that right? It's not.
The ferry is moored on the far side.
Okay.
You can see that the ferry operates by following a guide wire, so it just pulls itself along the wire in both directions.
Yeah. Okay. And it's a vehicle capable ferry. Yeah, it's like a
yes,
flat
it
thing.
is meant to transport both people and vehicles. And from this far away, I will need a roll to learn more, but it is big enough to transport some amount of vehicles. You're not really sure how many.
Are the ramps on the ferry or on the shore?
They are on both sides of the shoreline, and the ferry comes up and someone lifts them up and flaps them down onto the ferry.
Okay.
Okay. So use binoculars, have a look at the other side, see if there's any people over there.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay on the ground panting, going, fuck these bikes. I should have just fucking walked.
You can change gears, right?
What? Okay, and that now slam cut to now the binos.
Recon roll to check this out.
You're
Yes.
in high gear the whole time, so you're pedaling like a motherfucker to get like no rotation.
Didn't say shit.
Is there a penalty for the darkness?
Yes.
-2?
So you're looking at the ferry side. Yes, there is the
Yep.
-2 penalty for it being nighttime. If you're using binoculars, you get a +2 back. If you use night vision goggles, it cancels it out.
Nah, nothing.
It's a lot of darkness and trees in your way.
What about the
I
ferry side?
do need to know
Sorry.
whether you're expending the ration, old man, to keep operating at a high level, or whether you're going to accept
Yeah.
the oblivion of exhaustion.
I'll start snacking down.
Power
Need those
bar.
precious calories. And just to be clear, this does not count towards needing to eat several times a day. This is just to keep you from being injured from spending riding calories.
Yeah, there we go. Spent a ration.
Perfect.
Can't see shit on the other side.
What about this side? They look like operators or those other people.
They don't have the armbands. They look like the locals, probably the owners. Maybe. Not sure.
Uh,
Are they standing in sight?
They are standing on the southern ferry terminal, which is the side that you are on.
Are they near the generator though?
Yes, they're standing near the generator in the street light that is on the ferry terminal. You know, like the
Yeah.
safety light to make sure it's all lit up. They are standing in that light on the ferry terminal, looking out towards the ferry.
So you want to look at the map?
Yeah. Let's have a look at this doodled map of theirs.
According to the doodled map, you vaguely think that their plan is to set up sandbags around the ferry terminal and at the ferry terminal's headquarters and turn them both into a sort of bunker that is facing south, east, and west. So they're gonna, do the two bunker pits of sandbags and get people set up in positions, start knocking trees down as needed to clear eye lines. But this is like a hastily drawn thing.
So to defend from approach from the south and east.
They are, according to this map, they are defending from approaches from the south.
No fortifications here at the moment that we can see.
That is correct. No sandbags, no flankers in sight.
And the people that are standing there don't look armed. They just look
They
like
do not look armed.
French
And they're
Caucasian.
unaware of your presence.
All right. I think we should. I'll shrug out of my Hawaiian shirt so that I'm now back in my fatigues and flak, and I'll stuff the Hawaiian shirt into my backpack, and I'll ask for the binos.
Pass the binos. And there's no way I rode with my backpack.
See, that was my problem. I rode with a backpack. What was I thinking? All right. I'll leave the. I'll stash the backpack here with the bike, and how far do you reckon? How confident will I be? How much further can I get up the coast, so towards them, and get a better view on the far side?
Great question. We let the dice do the talking.
Fantastic. All right.
It is
A recon roll,
opposed
sir?
recon rolls. How close would you like to attempt to get? And that will give you a bonus or a negative.
All right. Actually, sorry. Let's do the. I want to do the binos on the far side of the river, and then we'll all agree upon how we're going to approach this.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Throw
recon.
down a +0 recon roll if you're using binoculars.
-2, then click the bino option, takes me back to 0. Roll. A success. Fantastic.
You see the ferry on the far side. It is exactly what you would expect from a gigantic piece of junk. It looks like this thing is probably 30 to 40 years old, diesel powered, immensely rusty. Half of it's all like air cooled out in the open. The engine is on the deck of the ferry. It's probably large enough to carry 8 cars. You can see that there must have been some trouble loading something because the ferry ramp on the far side seems to have collapsed partially. Like something very heavy tried to roll on it and then they forced it to go back. There are a large number of sandbags and supplies loaded on the ferry that look like they are in French military ammo crates. These supplies are loaded, they have been left there, and there is no one guarding them, as far as you know, on A1.
Sounds more like basically a powered barge.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
if we cut that cable, it'll be effectively neutralized until somebody can repair or replace the cable, because it doesn't actually have a propeller or motor.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that we may need to use this thing later. And
If you disable this thing, you will have to go to the other side of the island to find a working road capable of vehicle movement north.
that's
What's the
That is a trip of over 100 kilometers to go far enough south to find a road and then west across the island.
sorry, how wide's this river?
It is not that far. I believe it's only about 500 feet.
So like
200 meters, less than 200
Yeah.
meters.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to convert that to meters. Yes. Slightly longer than a football field.
well, we can still swim across. The question is, do we want to, if we can get it on this side and then disable it, it's more difficult for them to come across, or we need to swim over there and disable it on their side. Doesn't look like there's anybody there, but plenty of places for somebody to hide over there. And I can't imagine you leave that much kit without somebody watching it.
I'm concerned about these people.
When they're unarmed, we can just roll up on them with weapons out and control them. But only as long as we're here.
Yeah, exactly. I think we do that. I think we just roll up, point guns at them, tell them to sit down, and find out what's going on.
All right, let's use the generator and their night blindness against them, and then I'll look at the boss and I'll be like, give him the suggestion of we move up this way, across that way, and then push that way.
I mean, we want to try and separate and surround them because we don't. Because what happens if one of them just runs? We announce our presence and one of them just bolts.
Yeah, I don't want to kill any of them in case they're friendlies.
Hey, we surprise them close enough with enough barrels.
Yeah,
and get them to take a knee straight where they are, or move straight into the building. But we don't know who's in there either. Plus, we don't want us to be easily seen from the other side.
If you would like to plan a group ambush on a group on group, the lowest recon skill out of your group will roll against their highest recon skill. And if you are successful, you will completely surround and control them. Now, they will get penalties because it is nighttime, but you will get a negative because you will have to be so close to them to do it. In the end, the -2 and the +2 are going to cancel out, and these rolls will be flat.
Do our fatigues give us a +1? Oh, no, or is that to be seen? I'm trying to remember how the fatigues +1. Setting ambushes and staying undetected. So yeah, okay. So we get a +1 for our fatigues. Hence why I took off my Hawaiian shirt.
So I've also got the infiltrator specialty, which is +1 modified to recon rolls when trying to remain undetected.
That will only matter if you have the lowest recon to make this roll.
Okay, which I don't, because it's the lowest recon. So
yeah. Okay.
The audience doesn't know, by the way, that the three of you have chosen to wear Hawaiian shirts to this broadcast, which is c'est magnifique.
And Mike even managed to get the Hawaiian shirt with guns on it too.
Ah, yes,
exactly.
Yeah. He had Connor.
I'm probably on a watch list now.
Guns and pineapples? What a combo.
You're on an American watch list for sure.
As long as that watch list is APGamingREAL's fans, then that's great.
Hey, it's been a rough week for me. I just discovered that the United States dropped below 50% of my viewership, which means I'm becoming more popular internationally, but I can no longer claim to be a majority American streamer. It's bad. Or it's good. One of those.
So that would make... So I've got a 10-6 at the moment. So that'd bump it to a 10-8.
All right.
Which isn't a bad roll if we're happy with that. I mean...
You get a -2 for trying to ambush them at close range. And they get a -2 because they cannot see you at night. I'm going to roll. I rolled a 1. I've statistically rolled an unusual number of 1s.
All right, so we're at a -2, and then we get a +1 for our fatigue. So I'm still at a -1.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, do I want to push?
Well, you roll, then you push afterwards.
You roll first.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a success.
Got it.
The last thing we see in this episode is the three of you coming out of the darkness in 3 different directions, pinning these people against the water. You see the oldest man there starts going pale and shaking. He's like, "Oh no, it's happening again!" But he says it in French. And the woman begins screaming, "Ah!" And that is how we're going to end this one. So for the folks at home, this is definitely still the second episode. I did not forget to do experience at the end of the second episode. So this isn't the beginning of the third episode while we're figuring out experience. So, did you participate in a game session? Yes. Did any of you follow your moral code despite significant risk to you or your group?
Nope.
Did you risk or sacrifice something significant to realize your big dream?
No.
Did you travel through at least one hex on the travel map you had not visited before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you overcome one or more dangerous events using violent or non-violent means?
I mean, I don't know that one. Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't think so.
I suppose walking up to what's name's house, could be dangerous, given he was like, swinging a shotgun around willy nilly. But I don't think that we, it wasn't really a challenge to overcome that.
You mean Sergeant Cyrus Bowie, call sign
Yeah.
Bogan?
Yeah, and his two mates that he just put guns in their hands.
Yeah, Greco and Roman.
Very recently, to wander the streets.
I'll give you a yes for that one time, but I don't know visiting Sergeant Bowie's house every single time counts as a dangerous event. So that's what, 3 so far? And then did you risk your life for the PC who is your buddy?
No.
Oh.
Does anyone want to spend XP now? For instance, increasing a skill up to level D for 5.
That puts us on 3 for this one and 3 for the first.
Yeah, so we should have 6 total.
No, not at the moment. I'll save it.
Sorry, can I what's the mechanism again for XP? Sorry.
So it costs, the only thing we can afford right now is it costs 5 XP to raise a skill from nothing to D.
Oh.
You can buy specialization for 4, but we need time and a teacher. So
I think you need a specialization for 10.
Is it 10 for a specialization?
Yes. It's in the right side column on page 40.
Oh, okay.
I kind of feel like I want to put driving up.
Well, I was going to say, let's look at skills that nobody has any rank in. So nobody's got heavy weapons. Nobody's got that's literally the only skill that nobody has got any level in is heavy weapons. Although we've got the best we've got is a D driver. Best we've got is D mobility. Mobility is a good skill to have, by the way, because I don't know if you know this, but when normally, Chris, when you're in combat, you can move 2 combat hexes as a move action. If you want to move more, you can make a mobility test, and each success lets you move an additional hex
to push yourself.
Yeah.
But running, climbing, jumping, swimming, all mobility.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I would feel like I probably need to either in mobility or driving, but if somebody's already got driving, I'm just thinking about the moving of boats.
Yeah, well, Mike's got a B in agility and a D in driving, so he's a D10, D6.
Which is fine for the boat driving. I'm thinking about the bicycles and motorbikes in my future, which Mike can't drive for me.
No.
All right, I'm gonna drop one now, and hopefully we'll get enough points I can drop next episode into mobility. No, I'm just gonna mobility. I'll put one in. I'm gonna go to a D mobility, and I'll drop 5.
All right, your unit morale does not change. Would anyone like to seek a new big dream?
No. Not for me.
I'm all good.
So I need to learn more about these project motorcycles before I...
We change big dream. Look, at the end of the day, this game so far has existed for a total of about 6 hours of real time of
less than
games.
that, more like 3.
So I'm not yet questioning my life choices.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw those motorcycles.
You saw those motorcycles and a bogan on the beach with a Bundy ram. You're like, I could do this. This could be my big dream.
This is my spirit animal.
I want to become the warlord of this island. I shall rule it, just like this man.